Good afternoon. Today we will discuss about the Unit 3 that comes on Block 2 of Logistic and Supply Chain Management. Now, this unit generally deals with your models of what are the models involved in logistic and supply chain management. Now, talking about the models, we find that in supply chain management there are a lot of conflicting concept. Say conflict may arise in contradictory situations. Suppose I give you a situation where we want to have a high customer service and low inventory investment. That are contradictory situation. If I have a low inventory investment means I want to maintain a low inventory level. So there I may not able to satisfy my customer. The customer level satisfaction may be say compromised. So if I want to have a high customer service and low inventory management, they go say in opposite direction or they are in conflicting nature. So here the main objective of supply chain concept is to integrate and synchronize the service requirement of the consumers with the flow of materials from supplier in such a way that any conflicting and contradictory situation arising can be balanced out. These conflicts could be like high consumer service, low inventory investment, or low operating cost. So the basic objective of to study the models of supply chain is to say fulfill the objective of integrating and synchronizing the service requirement of the consumers with that of the flow of materials from the suppliers so that we can in any possible way can balance out the conflicting situations. Now, talking about the development of integrated supply chain, integrated means those are say joined together. Development of integrated supply chain requires management of materials and information flows to be viewed from three perspectives. These are called strategic perspective, tactical perspective, and operational perspective. At each of these level, there has to be utmost coordination and harmonization between the finance, information, materials, facility, people, and system as a whole. Now, these are the integrated units. So, when you talk about an integrated supply chain, we talk about the on what perspective we see this integration. First one is your strategic integration, tactical integration, and operational integrations. And these are different levels of integrations. And when you talk about this integration, we must take utmost care so that the coordination and harmonization between different finance, informations, materials, facility, people, and system as a whole. Now, talking about strategic level, integration of supply chain and demand chain can be seen from the three angles. These are follows. Number one, strategic level. What should be the focus at the strategic level? Strategic level is the highest level or it is the done at the top management level. Generally, these people spell out the objectives and policies of the supply chain. Now, we have to spell out what are the objectives and policy of supply chain and how can we develop to achieve competitive superiority. So, in a strategic level, we have to spell out what are the objectives and policies. While spelling out the objectives and policy, we should see such policy and objectives should be developed to have a competitive advantage over the competitors. And secondly, he said that how to develop physical components of the supply chain. There are all physical entities now, suppliers, manufacturers, warehouse, distributor, retailers, all these are physical components and we have to take utmost care to develop these components. How to develop the statement of consumer service, intent by the product market, consumer group or by large customer, and developing an organizational structure capable of bridging the functional hurdles, thereby ensuring an integrated value delivery based supply chain. So lastly, I say that we have a good organizational structure. We should bridge the gap between different levels so that we can overcome the functional hurdles which any we face in a strategic management operations, in any supply chain operations. So talking about the say levels, we first is strategic level is the highest level where we find out the objectives and policies, and these objectives and policies should be such which can give competitive superiority. I can give you an example. Our policy maybe have a quick response policy. That means whatever the consumers want, we should quickly make them. So how to develop the physical components and how to develop the statement and how to develop the organizational structure. Now, tactical level is related to your say strategic level. In strategic level, we spell out the policies and our objectives which can give you competitive superiority. Now, in tactical level, we focus the means by which the strategic objectives could be achieved. The various objectives of each element in supply chain provide the directions for achieving the balance within the supply chain. It involves identifying the necessary resources with which the balance could be achieved. So the second level is tactical level, and this focuses on the means, the methods by which strategic objectives could be achieved, and the various objectives for each element in the supply chain. So each element in the supply chain playing an important role in the direction for achieving the balance within supply chain. That means the supplier plays an important role, the manufacturers plays an important role, and the distributor play an important role for balancing within the supply chain. Now, the lowest level is operational level. It is called implementation level in the model and aims at converting the objectives and policy so formulated into workable solution. This is also the supply chain development phase, and strategy and plans for implementations are evolved. Implementation plans require time phase program for allocation of resources all through the supply chain. So the first strategic, we spell out the policy. Second, in the second stage is your tactical level where we focus the methods, and third we focus on the implementation. Here we say this stage supply chain we develop is also called development phase. In the strategy and plans for implementations, we develop certain strategy and plan where implementations can be possible. Implementation plans require a time phase program. It requires a time phase program, and it also requires allocation of resources. Then models of supply chain, model of supply chains, deals with different stages. The first stage is a situation in which company approaches the supply chain task in discrete decisions with a responsibility lodged in each of the task centers. The result is usually lack of control across the supply chain function because of organizational boundaries, preventing the coordinated decisions from achieving an overall customer service objective. So this stage one is in which the company approaches the supply chain task in a discrete means in a mutually exclusive manner, any alternative, discrete decision with a responsibility, fixed responsibility to each of the task center in a supply chain. And here the great challenge is lack of control across the supply chain function because of the organizational boundaries. Here, a manufacturer have no control over the suppliers because the manufacturer, the supplier is an external entity. So it has so therefore preventing the coordinated decisions. So what decisions a supplier can take may not be coordinated by the manufacturer. Distributor is also our boundary, organization boundary ends with the warehouse, with the storing of goods in the warehouse. but distributor is also an external entities where we don't have any say control. Due to lack of control, coordinated decisions is a problem, so that overall customer service objectives is a problem. In stage 2, the development is denoted by the functional integrations. That is, inward flow of goods through materials management, manufacturing management, and distribution. This stage, say, mainly emphasizes on cost reduction rather than performance achievement. That means how, say, cheaply we can move the materials, inward flow of goods from the supplier to the manufacturers, from the manufacturer to the distribution units. Here, we don't see at the performance of each, say, task center. Rather, we see how, say, how cheaply we can, say, make the inflow of goods and outflow of goods in a supply chain. Yes. The third stage accept the necessity of managing the flow of goods to the customers by integrating the internal activities. Integrated planning is achieved by using the distribution requirement planning, their DRP, just in time manufacturing techniques. This stage is essential before the company can consider integrating consumer in an overall demand management activity. The third stage is the necessity of managing the flow of goods. So here we make an integrated planning. The integrated planning consists of your DRP, just in time, is a production technique, manufacturing technique, etc. This stage is essential before the company can consider. Yes. Stage 4 extend the integration of external activities. While doing so, the company becomes customer oriented by linking the customer procurement activity with its own procurement and marketing activities. So stage 4, what you do in stage 4, we integrate the external activities with the internal activities. So the company in the stage 4 becomes more customer oriented, that is by linking the customer procurement activity with its own procurement. Yes. Supply chain strategy. Supply chain strategy often involves a combination of push and pull strategy to efficiently meet the consumer demand while managing inventory and production cost. This strategy dictates how the production flow through supply chain from manufacturing to distribution and ultimately to the end customer. Then in a subsequent slides, I will discuss what is push and pull strategy. But before going to that, let me explain. Supply chain strategy basically classified into two categories: push and pull strategy. But what is the strategy's main function? The strategy's main function is to see how the products flow through supply chain from manufacturing to distribution. And in both push and pull, there is a difference. There is a difference between how the goods flow through the supply chain from manufacturing to distribution. So talking about supply chain strategy, it involves a combination of push strategy and pull strategy. And the basic objective of this strategy is to efficiently meet the consumer demand. While meeting the consumer demand, it should manage the inventory, it should go for optimum inventory, and it should also see how the production cost can be reduced. Let me talk about push strategy. In a push strategy, production is based on anticipated demand. Manufacturer produce goods and push them into the supply chain without waiting for the consumer's order. This is a very important thing. In push strategy, what happens? We don't say wait for the consumer's orders. Before getting the consumer's orders, we produce on the basis of our demand forecast, anticipated demand. Whatever the organization has anticipated the demand for future or for the next 1 month or next coming periods, accordingly the production is made. And what the manufacturers convince the distributors produce this good, and convince the distributor that we anticipate the demand in future, so you please accept this, push them into the supply chain. The strategy is more suitable products with stable and predictable demand pattern. So demand forecast or anticipated demand will be more, say, correct, or there will be less error when the demand for product is stable and demand for the product is predictable. So again, I'm saying this is push strategy. What happens? Push strategy, the production is based on anticipated demand, and manufacturer produce goods and push them into supply chain without waiting the customer orders. Now, why do company goes for push strategy? The basic strategy is economics of scales. Economics of scale is both, say, achieved in production. If you produce in bulk quantity, we get certain advantages. Our average cost our cost of production declines. And if you have a, say, push strategy, if you have a faster response to sudden increases in demand, if demand changes for any of the regions, for any regions, demand increases. So the push strategy helps us to, say, respond to the increased demand quickly. But along with the advantages, we find certain challenges, risk of overproduction and excess inventory. When you push them, suppose the distributor sometimes may not be interested to, say, accept the products from the manufacturer. Thereby, the risk of excess inventory, it may be, if also it expects takes the products from the manufacturers, that will be also excess inventory with the retailers or with the distributors. In either of the case, there will be excess inventory, and it also leads to overproduction because anticipated demand sometimes may not be correct. Potential for waste if demand does not meet expectations. What you have expected, if demand does not meet it, so there is a potential waste. So push strategy is, as the name suggests itself, we push the goods into the supply chain without waiting for the consumer's orders. Contrast to it, we have another strategy, that is pull strategy. Now, in a pull strategy, production is initiated in response to actual customer demand. Productions are pulled through the supply chain as customer place order. This is well suited for products with uncertain or variable demand. When demand is uncertain or demands are variable, demand is not stable, it's subject to change, a company can go for pull strategy. In pull strategy, they wait for the consumer's orders. They see what are the consumer order for a particular product in a particular time period. Accordingly, they initiate the actual production and they start the distribution. So, minimize the risk of overproduction because it is based on consumer orders. So, overproduction charge is very less. Excess inventory also will be very less. Better alignment with actual consumer demand. Larger lead time for production and delivery. This is a very important challenge. What is lead time? Lead time is when you get the time difference between the date of delivery and date of placing an order. Suppose we don't have in pull strategy, we don't have sufficient inventory in our stores. That's why what happens when a consumer's place order, we say start producing. So it will take some time to produce and distribution. So lead time is very high. And challenges in responding to sudden increase in demand. If the demand increases suddenly, then pull strategy may not be in a position to meet that increased demand. So if I say define pull and push strategy, there is a basic difference is that the basic difference between pull and push strategy is that in push strategy, we push the goods into the supply chain without waiting the consumer's order, And Push strategy is suitable where demand is predictable and demand is stable. Whereas in pull strategy, we wait for the consumers place orders. Accordingly, we say produce and we pull through the supply chain. And this strategy is well suited for products with uncertain and variable demand. When demand is variable, demand is not uncertain. So we wait for consumers order. We wait for the consumer's order. Yes. Sometimes we get a hybrid strategy. Many organization employs combinations of push and pull strategy known as hybrid strategy to optimize the benefits of both the approach. As I told in my previous slides, both push strategy has certain advantages, pull strategy has certain advantages. To take the leverage of both the approaches, we can go for a hybrid strategies. The upstream part of the supply chain may operate on a push basis to achieve economics of scale and meet basic demand, or downstream part may operate on a pull basis to respond to specific consumer orders. So the upstream part of supply chain means whatever the materials comes from the say suppliers to the manufacturer. This is upstream. The upstream, we purchase raw materials in a bulk without waiting for the consumer's order. So we can keep it in our stores because if you purchase bulk, say input, we get a discount and we have a say predictable or sound relation with these suppliers, we get certain advantages. But meet the basic demand while distributing the product downstream part of we may operate on the pull basis. That means we initiate production only when we get a order from the customers. So for downstream, we have a say pull strategy. For an upstream, we can have a push strategy. This approach is often seen make to stock, push, and make to order, pull production environment. We purchase raw materials, make to stock, that is push, and we sell products or distributed products, make to order. We manufacture products on the basis of orders, that is called make to order. Yes, another model in this just-in-time model was developed by Toyota in Japan. JIT is a pull strategy. So JIT was say introduced by Toyota because to reduce the inventory cost. JIT is a pull strategy that aims to produce and deliver products just in time to meet customer demand. That's why I'm telling it emphasizes minimizing inventory level and reducing waste. JIT is effective in industries where production lead times are short, the high degree of production flexibilities. So lean period, just in time, all these are the pull strategy where JIT is different from a conventional production system where we produce, keep it in a store, maintain inventory, and then when customers' orders come and we distribute the products. So there are a lot of wastage in JIT system. There are 7 waste. That's why the Toyota introduced JIT system, and it's a one type of pull strategy where it aims to produce and just in time. It's just in time to meet the customer demand. Whenever a customer demand comes, it initiates production and try to deliver, and it never maintains any inventory levels and reducing the waste. JIT is effective in where production lead times is short. Production lead times is short means the materials enter into the raw materials enter into the machines and it comes as a finished product. This is called the lead time. And if the production lead time is very short, we can have a JIT system. Suppose a customer wants a product in 15 days or 2 weeks period. If my lead time is my production lead time is 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks, it's better to have a JIT system rather than a conventional system of production. And it also, JIT system is also very applicable where there is a high degree of production flexibility. Another concept is build to order BTO is a pull strategy where products are not built until customer order is received. This strategy is common in where customization is a key customer requirement. What is customization? I will explain that. BTO helps reduce the risk of holding excess finished goods inventory, but may result in longer lead times. Now, customization is different from standard products. When the products are standards, we can go for a push strategy because there is no variation in the product. When products are customized, then the products differ from customer to customer. Each customer requires a customized product. That means the requirement of the particular set of customers may be different from another set of customers. When this strategy is common in industry, customization is a key customer requirement. Now take off a furniture industries where customization is a key customer requirement. We don't find a standard furniture, standard sofa set. When a customer comes, he goes to the catalog and sees what type of sofa set he likes. Accordingly, he places order, and therefore the manufacturer starts to manufacture. So furniture, you can get an example of furniture where it's a build to order, and if you BTO helps to risk of holding excess finished goods inventory, but sometimes it may take longer lead times. That means you place an order of a furniture, it may takes a month or 1.5 months to produce a sofa set and deliver to you. Another model is quick response or ECR, efficient consumer response. QR and ECR are pull strategies that involves rapid response to changes in customer demand. These strategies often involve close collaboration between suppliers, manufacturers, and retailers to streamline the flow of information and product through supply chain. So, quick response and efficient consumer, they are also pull strategies. And why these strategies are taken? These strategies are taken in response to changes in consumer demand. Whenever there is a change in consumer demand, these strategies are very handy. These strategies often involve close collaborations between the suppliers. We need the prerequisite of this is a close collaboration between supplier, manufacturer, and retailers, so that the information and products flow is very streamlined. So whether a company will go for a pull strategy or push strategy depends on various factors. Nature of the product. As I told you, if the product is standardized product or a customized product, market demand characteristics, whether demand is predictable, demand is stable, or demand is not predictable, demand is variable, production capabilities, what is the plant capacity, that also, and the level of collaboration across the supply chain. If the collaboration is good, then we can go for pull strategy. If the collaboration and understanding is not good, we can go for a push strategy. Modern supply chain management often leverages technologies, data analytics to enhance the effectiveness of both push and pull strategy, enabling the organization to achieve balance between the efficiency, and responsiveness. So, modern supply chain management, they take the help of technology such as data analytics to enhance the effectiveness. How to increase the effectiveness of both push and pull strategy is better to take the advantage of, say, so both are handy strategy, both are useful strategy for supply chain management, but the choice is determined by different factors: the nature of the product, market demand, production capability, and level of collaborations. Then another concept called what is demand management. Demand management in supply chain involves a set of processes and strategies aimed at forecasting, influencing, and responding to consumer demand effectively. The goal is to align supply chain activities with expected demand, ensuring that product and services are available when and where customers need them. And there are some key aspects of demand management in supply chain. So, when you're talking about demand management, it involves first set of processes, set of strategies, and strategies aimed at forecasting the demand, influencing and responding to the consumer demand effectively. Whatever the demand the consumer have, we can influence by the demand management, or we can also respond to the consumer. Now, the basic objective of demand management to align the supply chain activities with the expected demand. So, by aligning, we can achieve that the product and services are available when and where consumer need them. Now, what are the key aspects? Now, the key aspects of, say, demand management is demand forecasting. Accurate demand forecasting is fundamental to demand management. How do you make demand forecasting? By historical data, market trends, other relevant factors to predict future demand for product and services. So, talking about forecasting methods, I can say that it is basically classified into two categories: quantitative techniques and qualitative methods. In quantitative methods, we find econometrics method, like regression methods. Regression is a forecasting method. So we can also use exponential smoothing technique, time series analysis, where data are arranged chronologically. So quantitative techniques are used. Also, we use qualitative methods like the survey methods. Survey methods, again, we can have a sample survey method, or you can have a method like, say, complete enumeration method, or we can have a, say, expert opinion method. We call for the expert's opinion and ask them to, say, forecast the demand, so there is a famous method called Delphi method. In Delphi method, the experts are, say, involved, and they are asked repeatedly the questions regarding a particular problem, and once the consensus is reached, then the method stops. Now, in demand forecasting also, we use advanced technology like machine learning, predictive analytics for more accurate forecast. Now, the forecast has been more accurate because of, say, advanced technologies. So basically, demand forecasting is nothing but to forecast, to say what is the demand for future. We can use historical data. Suppose I want to know what will be the, say Xmas cake will be sold in coming Xmas. I will take the historical data of 2022, and on this basis we can predict the demand, and accordingly I can manage my supply chain. Then collaborative planning. Demand management requires collaboration between various stakeholders in supply chain. In the outset, I have told you There are different entities in supply chain. These entities are suppliers, manufacturers, distributors, and retailers. And sharing information and insight helps in creating more accurate demand forecast and planning inventory levels accordingly. And this says demand forecasting will be successful, demand forecasting will be accurate, and demand forecasting will help the organizations whenever there is a good collaborations between various stakeholders. Collaboration in the sense that should be say sharing accurate information, sharing informations, and this information should be shared between all the stakeholders so that easily we can plan something. Then inventory management, effective demand management helps in optimizing inventory levels. Organizations aim to strike a balance between holding enough inventory to meet demand and minimizing excess inventory that can lead to carrying cost and obsolescence. So, in inventory management, we should try for optimizing inventory. If you say keep too much of inventory, it will help us to meet the demand. Holding enough inventory to meet the demand and minimizing the excess inventory. But the challenge before the inventory management is to minimize the excess inventory that will lead to decrease in carrying cost and obsolescence. And inventory management strategy just in time inventory. Whenever a order comes, safety stock, we should maintain a safety stock. And why you company maintain a safety stocks? Because there may be some problems, there may be some hurdles in the supply chain. To overcome these problems, to overcome the hurdles. So suppose there is a strike in the supplier's point, there is a road blockages, the natural calamities. For this, companies maintain safety stock. We should have a reorder point in order to say overcome the problem of say stock out. We must have a reorder point so that whenever the inventory reaches that point, we try to give order and replenish the materials. Then collaborative planning. Demand management requires collaboration between various stakeholders. Sharing information and insight helps in creating more accurate demand forecast and planning. Yes. Then lead time management. What is first lead time? Lead time, understanding and managing lead times in the supply chain is crucial for meeting customer demand. This involves assessing the time it takes for the products to move through the supply chain from production to delivery. Shortening the lead times can improve responsiveness to change in demand and reduce the need for large inventory buffers. So, the basic challenge before the supply chain management is to manage the lead time. Lead time is the time difference between production to delivery. Production to delivery. So shortening the lead time can improve responsiveness to change in demand. Suppose my demand it can improve. Suppose a company is able to say deliver a product within a very short period. So what happens? It encourages the customers to go for next purchase. So improve the responsiveness to change in demand. And if the say product moves smoothly in a short period of time, it will also reduce the need for large inventory buffers. Then new product introduction and product life cycle, anticipating demand for new products. Managing product life cycles is part of effective demand management. This includes coordinating the introduction of new products and phasing out obsolete products. Early involvement of cross-functional teams in the product development process can help to align supply chain strategies with product introduction. So, consumer demands are always dynamic. They are not satisfied a particular set of products that they are using. They always require innovative products. They require new products. And managing product life cycle is a part of, as I told in the last class, every product has a life cycle. It goes through different stages. It, once the product has reached the maturity stage, now the time has come to introduce new product in the market and phase out the obsolete ones. So early involvement of cross-functional teams. Cross-functional teams means there are different functional teams in a market, in an organizations like finance, marketing, HR, and your operations. All this must have a early involvement of cross-functional. The marketing team should should be aware of the product life cycle of a product, and they should share the information with the operation team. Operation team should share the information with the finance team so that it can align with the supply chain strategies with product introduction. Then promotion planning, marketing, promotion and sales events can significantly impact demand. Demand management involves coordinating promotional activities with production and distribution plans to ensure that the supply chain can handle increased demand during promotional periods. So, marketing, promotions and sales events can significantly. Demand management involves coordinating promotional activities with production and distribution plans to ensure that supply chain can handle increased demand during promotional periods. Demand sensing and real-time data. Leveraging real-time data and demand sensing technology allows organizations to respond quickly to change in demand. This involves monitoring market trends, consumer behaviors, and all other external factors that may impact demand. So, taking the advances of real-time data and demand sensing technologies to respond quickly to change in demand. So, what is demand sensing does? Demand sensing makes a monitoring of the market trends, whether the trend is increasing or trend is how the consumers is behaving to a particular set of products. What are the external factors like income, government policy, income, then your competitors' product line, isn't it? All these are external factors that may impact demand. So, advanced analytics and data-driven decision making contribute to more accurate and agile demand management. Then comes customer relation management. Understanding customer preference and behavior is essential for effective demand management. CRM system helps organization to track and analyze customer interactions, enabling more targeted marketing and demand forecasting. So CRM helps in targeting the market and also in demand forecasting. CRM helps to understand the customer preference and their behavior. How it does? By interacting with the customers. It can read the pulse of the customers. Then supply chain visibility. Visibility across the supply chain is crucial for effective demand management. This involves tracking the movement of products from supplier to manufacturers to distributor and retailers. Enhanced visibility helps in identifying the potential bottlenecks, addressing the supply chain disruption promptly. That means by leveraging the technology, we can track what are the status of our goods across the supply chain. It involves tracking the movements of goods. Suppose I found that the goods are stock up at the say distributor point. The distributor, so this is a bottleneck. Why the distributor is, suppose there is some say natural calamities in this area, so distribution is not possible to the retailers. So enhanced visibility helps in identifying the potential bottlenecks and how to overcome this disruption promptly. Then demand management is an ongoing process that requires continuous improvement. Organizations should regularly review and refine their demand management process based on performance metrics and feedback loops. So it's not a ending, it's a ever-ending process. It continues till the organization exists and all the organizations are review and refine their demand management process. Then there is another very important concept that is called bullwhip effect. Bullwhip effect refers to a phenomenon where a small fluctuation in demand for a product at a customer level can result in amplified fluctuation in supply chain. A small change at the say consumer level brings about say amplified or more fluctuations in the across the supply chain as you move upstream in the supply chain from retailers to the wholesaler to the manufacturers and suppliers. The variability in orders tends to increase. This amplification can lead to inefficiencies, increased cost, and challenges in managing inventory. And there are several factors contribute to bullwhip effect, including forecasting errors, order batching, delays in information sharing. So, to say bullwhip effect is results a small fluctuations which results in multiplied. Now let's take an example of a retail supply chain and try to understand how bullwhip effect operates. Imagine a popular toy that experiences regular demand fluctuation due to changing consumer preferences or seasons or promotional activity. Let's say that the actual consumer demand for toys remains relatively stable. The retailer monitors inventory level and places order based on the possession of future demand. However, due to uncertainties and imperfect information, the retailers tends to overact to short-term changes. For if there is a sudden increase in sales during a promotion, the retailer might place a larger order to ensure they have enough stock. Suppose there is a good advertisement for the product and the customers were attracted by this advertisement and they place high order and the sales of the retailers increase suddenly. There is a sudden increase in sales because of a promotion. So the retailer, seeing the increase in production, he places a larger order to ensure to have enough stock. Suppose the sales increase by 10%, he ordered say stocks for say 15%, 5% more, so that he can maintain enough stock in his inventory. The wholesaler is receiving the increased order from the retailers interprets it as a signal of rising demand. Here is the mistake. They may also amplify the order, perhaps to take advantage economic of scale or due to their own uncertainty of future demand. The wholesaler now getting a higher order from the retailers is get encouraged and it interprets a signal of rising demand. So in order to get the economic of scale, that means to get a discount if he orders a larger quantities to the manufacturers or due to their own uncertainty of future demand, he orders a larger quantity. Suppose it is 15%, now he orders for 20%. So the manufacturer in turn interprets the larger order from the wholesaler as a sign of increased demand for the toy. So to meet this perceived higher demand, they may ramp up production. They increase the production. Finally, the suppliers, seeing the increased demand from the manufacturer, may adjust their production and raw material orders accordingly. The end result is that small fluctuation in consumer demand lead to exaggerated variation in orders and production levels throughout the supply chain, and this is leading to inefficiency, excess inventory, stockouts, and increased cost at each step of supply chain. So the fluctuation started at the retail stage. It passed on to the distributor or wholesaler. It is again passed on to the manufacturers, and manufacturers passed on to the suppliers. So first, again, I'm seeing that the example, toy is a product. There is a sudden increase because of advertisement. Then the consumer purchase more from the retailers. Retailers found there is increase in demand. Then wholesaler get a higher increased order from the retailers. He in turn gave more order to the manufacturers, manufacturers to the suppliers, and at the end, the small fluctuation in consumer demand lead to exaggerated variation across the supply chain. Bullwhip effect lead to inefficiency and excess inventory. So, what is factors contribute to bullwhip effect? Orders batching. Retailers and other entities in the supply often place orders in batches rather than continuously. This batching can amplify demand variability. So we don't order in a single unit, or we order retailers and other entities order in manufacturers also order in batch from the suppliers. Inaccurate demand forecast contributes significantly to bullwhip effect when supply chain participants make decisions on flawed forecasts or in wrong forecast. It can lead to overacting to perceived changes in demand. So forecasting may not be sometimes correct, and if the supply chain participants make decisions based on this forecast, so it may lead to overacting to perceived changes in demand. Now, what are the factors? Again, lead time variability, delay in information flow, order processing contribute to variability. Longer lead time can amplify the bullwhip effect. The changes in demand take longer to propagate up the supply chain. Price fluctuation and promotion, changes in price or promotion can influence the consumer buying behavior, leading to sudden spike that are difficult to predict and manage. How to mitigate this? Improved information strategy sharing, enhancing the communications, and information sharing among the supply chain partners can help to reduce uncertainty and improve the accuracy of demand forecasting. If the communication and information sharing is seamless across the supply chain entities, across the supply chain partners, we can mitigate the problem. Reducing order batching. Smaller, more frequent orders can help to reduce bullwhip effect by providing more accurate and timely information about the actual data. So, improved information sharing and reducing order batching can help to mitigate the strategies. Then, collaborative planning and forecasting. Collaborative efforts between supply chain partners to jointly plan and forecast demand can lead to better aligned strategy and reduce variability. Again, use of advanced technologies such as advanced analytics, artificial intelligence, demand sensing tools can improve forecasting accurately and real-time visibility across the supply chain. The internet has a profound impact on supply chain transforming the way the organization plan, execute and optimize their supply chain process. Here are the several ways in which internet has influenced. So we are discussing about the influence of internet on supply chain management. In present day, internet has significantly impacted the supply chain management in planning in executing and optimizing their supply chain process. Communication and collaboration. Internet facilitates real-time communications. All must be aware of that. Collaboration among supply chain partners. With use of email, instant messaging, collaborative platform, stakeholders can exchange information, coordinate activities, make decisions more efficiently. Also, internet-based technology provide enhanced visibilities with tools like radio frequency identifications, Internet of Things, cloud-based platforms. Organizations can track movement of goods, monitor and inventory levels, and gain insight into the performance of various supply chain components and how the supply chain partners are operating. We can easily see through the various, internet-based technologies. E-commerce and online marketplaces. The rise of e-commerce and online marketplaces has reshaped the retail supply chain. Organizations can now reach customers directly through online channel, reducing the need for traditional intermediaries. This has led to changes in inventory management, order fulfillment, last mile delivery strategies. So e-commerce and online marketplaces are also playing an important role. Then internet helps in demand forecasting. Internet enables the organization to collect and analyze vast amount of data which is not possible manually. So by having a good demand forecasting and analytics, we can know the customer behavior, market trends, and supply chain performance. Advanced analytics and machine learning algorithm helps improve demand forecasting accurately, allowing for more informed decisions making. E-procurement and supplier collaborations. Internet-based procurement systems streamline the purchasing process. Organizations can connect with suppliers through online platforms, automate procurement workflows, negotiate contracts more efficiently. This leads to cost saving and improved supplier relationship. Blockchain technology is a decentralized and secure ledger technology, has the potential to enhance the transparency and traceability in supply chain. It can be used to create a tamper-proof records of transactions, providing a trusted and immutable source of information for supply chain participants. Real-time data and LOT sensors, internet-connected sensors embedded in products, equipment, transportations, vehicles, provides real-time data on their status and conditions. Real-time visibility helps in monitoring the supply chain, reducing the risk of disruptions, enabling proactive decision making. Then cloud-based supply chain management solutions offer scalability, flexibility, accessibility. Organizations can leverage cloud platforms for collaborative planning, data storage, running advanced analytics without the need for extensive on-premises infrastructure. We need not make on-premises infrastructure. Mobile technology, mobile devices and application enable supply chain professionals to access information and manage processes from anywhere. Then social media and customer engagement also equally plays an important role in internet. Cybersecurity challenges. While internet has brought numerous benefits to SCM, it also cybersecurity challenges protecting sensitive supply chain genre from security threats is a critical consideration. So is a challenge where the data may be theft or data. And what are the drivers of the supply chain management? First driver is customer expectation. Meeting and exceeding the customer expectation is a fundamental driver. Globalization, the increased globalization of market has led to more complex and extended supply chain. Another driver is technological advancement. Rapid advancement in technology like artificial intelligence, say machine learning, blockchain are also the transferring e-commerce and omni-channel retailing. Regulatory environment, sustainability and corporate social responsibility, and risk management. These are also the drivers of and collaboration partnership, market dynamics, and talent and skill. The availability of skilled professionals in supply chain is a critical driver. Cost pressure. Organizations are continuously under pressure to reduce cost and improve efficiency. This driver influence related to sourcing. Thank you very much. We'll meet tomorrow. I'm sorry.